Hello, y'all. It's Daniel. I gotta start off by showing my shirt. I like this. Anyway, let's get to the basics of it. Today, I would like to talk about the concept of the Patriot Party that has been brought up by, former President Trump. Honestly, I think it's a necessary step at this junction. The reason for that is you have the Republican Party, whom have been trying to legally approach conflicts with the Democratic Party, who have been blatantly breaking the law with impunity. They've been rewriting laws on a whim so they can continue to just do whatever they want. The fact there's been changes in medical definitions just to fit a narrative, it's just all over the place. I don't see how people could not see the level of corruption and manipulation at this point. The severe attacks on both the First and the Second Amendment, which are, I'm sure, going to get worse. Something needs to be done. Now, like I said, the problem is the Republicans, for one, they're not putting a united front, whereas the Democrats are. Whenever there's a vote, pretty much every Democrat will vote one way, and then you always have at least a handful or so of Republicans that'll side with the Democrats. So Republicans never have enough votes to actually do anything. Even when they had the majority, they would lose because of that. And the reality is, yes, the Republicans are doing it correctly in that regard. They're individually voting, whereas Democrats are not. They're unanimously voting. I have my theories as to why on that. Personally, I think there's three main types when it comes to the Democratic Party. In the top, obviously, you have those that are corrupt, that are just power seizing at this point and just forcing whatever they want through. Below them, you have the selfish. You have people that are comfortable in their position and they're happy to just follow the leader because it secures their way of life. And then you have the scared people that are in office but are too scared to, oppose Pelosi. So they just back down and they just vote the way she wants them to so they don't get targeted. Because, the Democratic Party is well known to target people that disagree with them. Whether it's cancel culture, well, I'm sure you've seen enough to have an idea there. So what we need is somebody to break that dynamic. Because at this point, there is no way the Republicans stand a chance against the Democrats. Because like I said, they're trying to play by rules. The Democrats are blatantly, openly breaking with impunity. There's no way to win there. Now, the role the Patriot Party could take in this is, first, they need to have a very stable platform to stand on. Now, my recommendation on that would be to focus first on Constitution. Hardline the Constitution. Freedom of speech. You have freedom of speech. Now, it's important to remember that the freedom of speech does not also have the guarantee of an audience. People don't have to listen to what you say, but you have the right to say it. And you can see a lot of that when it comes to protesting. Peaceful protesting, you stand off to your little side, you have your signs, you say your piece. Cool. When you're obstructing traffic and trying to force people to listen to you, that is no longer peaceful. That is going beyond the bounds of what peaceful protesting is. And that is not okay. I think that's something that's very important to address, because that was a major issue during the Obama administration. And I'm sure it could potentially become another major issue again. So, now with the platform, like I said, hardline the Constitution. Freedom of speech, right to bear arms. Those are there for very specific reasons. It is well known that the right to bear arms, the Second Amendment, is so we can protect ourselves against a tyrannical government. And look what's been happening. They've been attacking our Second Amendment for quite a while now. And now they're just getting worse and worse. It's very clear they have an authoritative direction in mind. Do as I say, not as I do, which has been a theme with them for quite a while. And that's another thing that needs to be addressed. And we need that Second Amendment. So when they push too far, and personally, honestly, I think they already have, but when they push too far, we at least have some means of defending ourselves against the tyranny. They know that. That's why they keep attacking it. And we need a party that's going to refuse to compromise at all on the First, Second, all those, the Constitution, Hardline. It was there for a reason. We need it in this country. And they keep compromising on it to our detriment. Republicans obviously lack the will, and they lack the solidarity to defend the Constitution against the Democrats. We need a party that can do that. I also think it's very important to do the America First agenda within the Patriot Party. I, at least my theory, believe that there is a significant amount of pressure, both within and without of this country, to keep the United States dependent and in debt to other countries. I think it's their way of trying to keep us reeled in and under their thumb. And when Trump was in office, a lot of the stuff he was doing to start bringing jobs back, rebuilding our economy, was a direct threat to their agenda. Hence why they were so desperate to get him out of office. Hence why they blatantly broke rules, rewrote laws. It was just utterly ridiculous. The type of crap that went on. And the fact that they refused to even look at the evidence. That right there on January 6th, when it was directly brought up, all Ted Cruz was asking in his speech is he wasn't asking to overturn the election, anything like that. He just wanted a 10-day session when they had plenty of time. They had 14 days before, everything had to be official, to go over the evidence, to actually acknowledge the evidence, to validate the concerns of so many citizens in this country. Now, like I've said before, I believe the assault on the White House was staged. They've already arrested a number of Antifa members, and Antifa does not side with MAGA. It has never been on the same side as MAGA. That's common sense. At least it should be common sense. I think it was staged because if you notice what happened, the moment all that happened, the conversation went from we need to look at the evidence to we've been assaulted, we need to stop this, blah, blah, this is not... They completely sidestepped the entire point of that meeting. The entire thing was they were trying to get addressed so they could change the context. And that is something that has happened several times. If you've noticed, any time there was a legal issue that was dealing with a Democrat, whether it be Hillary, Biden, any of those, whenever it started working against them, there was always a riot or a shooting. It was always made about race. It was always made about gun rights just to get people arguing. And while people were arguing, the case got swept under the rug. And we didn't hear about it again. That has happened several times. We need to quit falling for that. Because that's ridiculous. So the role the Patriot Party would play is it would help to break that dynamic of the Republican and Democrat. By putting, a solid front of where certain areas we will not compromise. And I know there's a lot of people in the Republican Party that are utterly disgusted with how Republicans just keep giving in to Democrats and they don't hold their ground. I know there's a lot of people in the Democrats that are utterly disgusted, with the socialism and authoritative policies the Democrats are now pushing. The irony that the Democratic Party, which is supposed to be ruled by the people, is being led like a dictatorship is baffling. So, especially at this point where, former President Trump's popularity is still high, when there's still a lot of awareness on it, we need to start the political party, the Patriot Party, now. So that by 2022, we can work on getting seats and start breaking this Republican-Democrat dynamic that, well, let's be real, is broken. It does not work. It no longer works anymore. The Democrats have become entirely too extreme, and the Republicans don't know how to deal with them. They keep trying to work with them. They give an inch. They lost an inch. Democrats aren't giving anything. That's obvious. So, like I said, I hope they do the Patriot Party. I have my recommendation for the reasons that I put forth. And hopefully we can start to turn this around. Because as it stands right now, January 20th, 2021 is the day that America and all it stood for died. It was no longer a free country. The will of the people was adamantly ignored, blatantly ignored, for the desire and agenda of the corrupt. And I don't see how anybody could deny that without, lying to themselves as much as they're lying to anybody else. So that's my 2 cents on that. I hope you all have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.